Going on to all of my Aquarius. So you have the Page of Swords, the Knight of Cups, Two of Cups, the Strength, Knight of Swords. You have the Eight of Wands, Four of Cups, the Temperance, the Page of Cups, and the Three of Pentacles. Okay, so what I'm seeing here for you Aquarius is I'm seeing how a lot of you Aquarius happen to be in a situation right now where you have the Page of Swords, you have the Knight of Cups, and the Two of Cups. So for you Aquarius, this is all about right now learning how to create boundaries, right? Because people learning how to create stronger boundaries with consequences, because Aquarius rules over the 11th house. The 11th house represents hidden enemies, and a lot of times so-called friends and loved ones, even romantic situations, can end up crossing boundaries because a lot of people don't take your boundaries seriously to the point where it creates that amount of level of respect to them. And a lot of times people whom you're dating, they don't think that you're really being serious about the boundaries, just decency, right? The boundaries that you put up. The Knight of Cups and the Two of Cups are about how a lot of you Aquarius have you need to leave these people alone, and you have left these people alone. And you're trying to achieve this, the Two of Cups. People who actually want to be with you and actually do take you seriously, as you should be, right? The Strength and the Knight of Swords, however, represents just pay attention to not be that ruthless, because you don't want to find yourself in a situation where, you end up deluding yourself because you're so eager to cut people off and excommunicate them. What you want to do is that you want to judge their character based upon principles. And if you see that they're not able to uphold certain principles, then most definitely it's time for you to leave them alone. Once you see that they can uphold certain principles, then it obviously is cool for you to continue to hang out with them. But don't be so quick to cut someone off. Just stop speaking to them simply because they don't necessarily know, they don't necessarily do something that you like or you want to see in a particular partner. And that's part of what defines character, what separates or makes a distinction between character in relationship to when you're being a little bit too jumpy, too picky, is base the person based off of, or evaluate them based off of character, right? Based off of principles, as opposed to how much money they have, or what kind of car they drive or whatnot. Because you also have to take into consideration that people do hide their wealth. So a lot of times, if you're basing it off of that, just how much money a person makes, that's, you know what I mean, that may not necessarily see. There's no way around getting in and jumping in with both feet. There's no way around that. There's no way around actually having to put skin in the game. There's absolutely no way around that. You can, a lot of times people can try to play you, and they could play you Aquarius, in the sense that they run off and they get cheap, cheap money, or they're building a reputation off of your name and all this other type of stuff. But what? Delusional games, you win delusional prizes. So because of the fact that people will try to play delusional games with you, it's okay, Aquarius. It's all right, because ultimately they're going to win delusional prizes. So you can still be holding up and creating these boundaries, but also understand that you can still create these boundaries, but just understand that don't create so much so much boundaries to the point where it ends up putting you into a situation where you end up categorizing yourself out of really getting to know somebody. The Knight of Swords represents there needs to be a level of keeping your mind open, keeping an open mind, and understanding that ultimately you're in a situation where you need to enjoy yourself, right? And there's not a whole lot of enjoyment if your mind is so tight, right? If your mind is so caught up in, well, is this person trying to use me? It's not that hard to really understand if a person is using you. They will want too much. They will ask for too much. That's some of the ways that you will know, right? That's some of the ways. If you want me to teach you the ins and the outs, then it's time to come get a relationship course. And there's always more to break down. So as much as I'm saying here in these videos, I'm never gonna give. That's the beautiful thing. I'm never gonna tell you all of it, not because I don't want to or trying to hold something back, but because information and knowledge is just that infinite and is just that long. So there's always more for me to tell. If we can get deeper and deeper in the science of love, because love is a science. However, then you have the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Wands and the Four of Cups represents you also want to have you also want to have certain amount of things in common with the person. A lot of times, right? You want to be communicative. Eight of Wands, you want to be communicative. You want to actually be able to have a conversation with the person. You don't want to be in a situation where you and the person can't converse. It's like pulling teeth whenever it is that it's time for you to actually have to get in touch with the person. Through text messages, they're being a pain. On the phone, they don't have a whole lot to talk about, right? It's just gossip. You want to engage with somebody. Maybe I'm wrong, could be wrong, but you want to engage with somebody that actually has some sort of purpose, right? Regardless of who they are, right? For me, I study astrophysics. I study physics, I study metaphysics, I study a lot of different things, herbology, martial arts, different languages, salwate, hola, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, right? Salwate is Latin, hola is Spanish, which Spanish is based off of Latin. But the point that I'm trying to make here is uh Konnichiwa, right? Hello, in Japanese. But at the same time, you should want to have a person or a partner that understands reciprocity. Like I've been saying, you should be able to have a good communication, because it's not just about physical intimacy is most definitely important, but it's not only about physical intimacy. And a lot of times people really underestimate the importance of communication, all types of ways, verbally, as well as having things in common and the ability to actually get along with the people whom you say that you're supposed to be in a relationship with, Aquarius. So a lot of times, a lot of you Aquarius need to understand that because you are Aquarius, a lot of Aquarius has a certain amount, or born with a certain amount of consciousness, being aware of certain things. But you have to stop playing yourself and getting with people that are not aware of a lot, who are essentially living in a la la land. Don't hang around those types of people. The Strength card represents the sun, and Aquarius is the exact opposite of what? Which represents the sun, Leo. There's even, right, in other tarot decks, in other tarot decks, this would be a lion, but because I have the Dragon Tarot, the dragon is taking place here. The red dragon is taking place here. So red is a color of passion. So it represents, again, don't be so passionate to date to the point where you end up misunderstanding certain things, that these people are not mentally and spiritually on your level. I should say mentally, because there's a caveat to that. But these people are not mentally on your level. And don't worry about it. If it don't work, it don't work. Stop trying to force it. This is just my perspective now. The Four of Cups, you want to make sure that the two of you actually have things in common with one another. Because once you have things in common with that other person, now things will start to become much easy or much more easy because of that. One of the worst things in the world to do is to try to force a relationship, my dear Aquarius, with a person that you know good and well you don't have anything in common with. Two different worlds. This person is into fashion, and they're kind of not mentally there. They're taken over by social media. You're thinking about astrophysics. You're thinking about stocks and all this other type of stuff. You're thinking about computer engineering, right? Building a different computer and things of this nature, stuff like this. What? And then you wonder why the person is kind of delusional and they're in their own bubble of, fashionista. I don't even know these fashion events. I don't even know these fashion events. All these magazines, Ebony, Essence, Time. Okay, I know them, but those is from the 90s though. But to say I'm really digging through magazines, stuff like, I read books, and I'm not acting like I'm on some sort of moral high ground. What I'm saying is whole different world from me, whole different world. And that's my point though. This is very important to state that, because you will know a person. One of the things for you to know if a person is good for you, is right for you, is if the two of you actually have things in common. Okay? Because a lot of people don't hang out with, a lot of people do not hang out with people that they actually have things in common with. Completely different worlds, completely different worlds. They're, completely different world. They're into, they're into architecture. You're into, you know, planting. You understand what I'm saying? No, because that even has, they're into architecture. You're into to you're in the cleaning, being a clean, cleaner, some sort of janitor. Okay, I mean, the janitor may clean up the architecture, but does the janitor understand the architecture? You understand what I'm saying? So two different worlds. And then you have the temperance. The temperance is, you also have to take into consideration that a lot of people are not who they say they are, or who they put their best foot forward to look like they are. And this is where things can end up getting messed up. So you have to have the enlightenment to know when someone is faking it, and then when someone is being the real deal with you. Me, I'm like this when I even eat on camera, off camera. I am. You feel me? You know, if I become more famous, much more subscribers, and people start to see me in the street and they want to take a picture or stuff like this, I'm open for it, but they're gonna see that I'm the same way that I am online, offline. So then you have and a lot of people tend to hide that. But then you have the Page of Cups. Also, too, ask them what it is that they want and what they're looking for. They'll tell you. They'll tell you. They'll tell you they want this, that, and the third, and all this and all that. If a person is telling you they want all this, that, and the third, this is a situation where you need to watch out, because they're letting you know that they're for the streets and that you shouldn't trust them. And this is not long term, because they're telling you they want this, that, the third. They want all of this. And understand the Three of Pentacles, and understand if this is good for you. Understand if this type of relationship will not only financially be good for you, right, to where they're not going to try to do things that will cost you money, but also just make sure that it's good for your solidarity in mind, and in the heart, right? If it's good for your mental peace and your health, right? Because a lot of times people don't take into consideration what it is that they're asking for. They want to partner with all this, that, and the third, and all these bells and whistles, regardless of who it is. But sometimes they don't understand that all of that bells and whistles talk too much sometimes. So let's clarify the Three of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles, the Death card, the Nine of Pentacles, the Five of Wands. So the Five of Pentacles, to clarify the Three of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles is, again, walk away from any potential relationship or any relationship that you may be in where it's not peaceful in the mind. If it's not peaceful, walk away from it, period. The Death card, put an end to it and go find a relationship that is more peaceful, is what the Death card is saying. Put an end to it. And you have to be ruthless when you put an end to it. Don't give it excuses when you decide that you don't want to hang out with these people. It's okay. You don't have to, and you're not going to get along with every single person that you are dating. You can still let go of the person because it's not right, because you and the person don't have anything in common, and who you are internally is not what it's not similar to each other. And that's another thing too, is to respect the differences. A lot of times people don't respect the differences. That the differences are just as amazing as the similarities. What you want to do is you want to make sure that a partner is not so similar to you to the point where you can't tell the difference, and have some sort of independence from them to a certain extent, right? When it's time to have that level of space. And at the same time, you want to make sure you don't want to find that a partner is so different from you to the point where the two of you don't have anything in common, and it's of two different worlds. So the things that the Nine of Pentacles represents, that person, that person that has that two different worlds. You don't you want to have something in common with the person, which creates and builds upon that bonding and love, and they get to know you, you get to know them. And then you have the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is, if you do that, all it is that you're going to have is a lot of problems. That's unnecessary. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. If you'd like to contact me for a personal reading, then my website, which you can pay for my services, look over my services, pay for any one of my services, as well as message me, is in the comment section below. The Amazon page in which you can pick up my book, the link to that is also in the comment section below. And my social media page, my IG, is also in the comment section below. And it'll be the pinned post in the comment section. Also, too, I'm trying to get this YouTube channel to 3,000 subscribers. Right now, I'm on 2,900. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop these videos. Peace.